The bed in isolation room 6 remakes itself every 20 minutes, even when someone is still lying in it. I watched the sheets pull tight over a patient's body like invisible hands were smoothing them flat, tucking corners beneath a man who was still breathing, still staring at me, unable to move as the fabric pressed him down. I hit the call button on instinct. Nothing. No alarm. No tone. The panel was dead. The patient's name was Alvarez, late 40s, admitted with a severe respiratory infection that didn't match any test results. His scans were clean, but he kept insisting he couldn't get a full breath in, like the air stopped halfway down his lungs. We put him in isolation just to be safe. At 1:20, I checked on him. He was restless, fingers twitching against the mattress, eyes fixed on the ceiling vent. At 1:40, he said before I even asked anything, "It resets again." I thought he meant his symptoms. "What resets?" I asked. He didn't look at me. "The room," he said. At 1:39, the monitor beside him flickered. Not a glitch. Everything on it cleared for a split second. Heart rate, oxygen, blood pressure, all gone. Then they came back, but not exactly the same. The numbers were close but slightly off, like they'd been re-entered from memory. At 1:40, the bed moved. No sound of motors, no visible mechanism. The sheets lifted, flattened, and pulled themselves tight, forcing Alvarez's arms to his sides. The pillow shifted under his head, aligning perfectly with the frame. He gasped, not from pain, from pressure. Like the bed was trying to fit him into a position it remembered. I grabbed the sheet, tried to pull it loose. It didn't budge. It felt anchored, heavier than it should have been. Then it stopped. Everything released at once. Alvarez sucked in a full breath and coughed hard, rolling slightly onto his side. "You see it now," he said. I checked the time. 1:41. I reported it. Maintenance came up, checked the frame, the motors, the wiring. Nothing. Said it was a mechanical fault, maybe a short. They powered the bed down completely, unplugged it. At 0200, it reset again. No power, no connection. Same movement, same timing. This time the monitor didn't flicker. It went blank for a full 5 seconds. When it came back, the patient ID field had changed. No name, no record number, just a blank line. I checked the system. Room 6 showed as empty. No assigned patient, no admission, no chart. I was standing next to him, watching him breathe, and the system said he wasn't there. Alvarez noticed the screen. "It's losing me," he said. His voice sounded thinner, like it wasn't fully reaching the room. At 0220, the reset happened again. But something was different. The sheets pulled tighter than before. Too tight. His arms didn't just press to his sides. They sank slightly into the mattress, like the surface had softened under pressure. He tried to speak. The words came out distorted, stretched between breaths. "It's remembering less." I stepped back. The air in the room felt heavier, not warmer, denser, like each reset was compressing something. At 2:40, I didn't wait outside. I stayed in the room, watched the clock. At 2:39, the lights dimmed. Not fully, just enough to shift the shadows. The monitor went blank. This time, it didn't come back right away. The bed started earlier. 1:39 had become 2:39. The timing wasn't fixed. It was moving. The sheets lifted, paused mid-air, then dropped faster than before, snapping tight across Alvarez's body. You didn't react immediately. There was a delay. Then his chest rose sharply, like his body was catching up to something it had missed. His outline under the sheet looked wrong, too flat, like the bed had simplified him, reduced detail. I pulled the sheet back. For a second, I couldn't process what I was seeing. He was there, but not fully. His features looked blurred, like a low-resolution image stretched over a shape. His eyes moved, but not smoothly, jumping from one position to another. "Don't let it finish," he said, the words snapping into place mid-sentence. The monitor came back on. Vitals returned. But the numbers were rounded. No decimals, no variation. Perfect even values, like estimates. At 2:41, the system updated. Room 6, vacant. I was still holding the sheet, still looking at him. And the system had erased him again. I tried to override it, manually enter his data. The fields wouldn't accept input. Every time I typed his name, it cleared itself. At 0300, the reset didn't wait. It triggered at 0258, then 0255. The intervals were shrinking. Each time, Alvarez looked less anchored. His body didn't press into the mattress anymore. It hovered slightly above it, like the bed was losing track of where to place him. The sheets still pulled tight, but sometimes they missed, sliding over empty space where his arm should have been. He was fading, not disappearing, misaligning. At 0310, he grabbed my wrist. His grip was weak, but it connected. For a second. Then it slipped through slightly, like our hands didn't fully overlap. "It's copying," he said, "and deleting the original." The next reset started immediately. No clock shift, no warning. The sheets lifted and froze. Mid-air, the room went silent. No machines, no airflow, nothing. Alvarez looked at me. Clear. Focused. For the first time since I'd met him. "It only keeps one version," he said. Then the sheets dropped, hard, flat. When I pulled them back, the bed was empty. No indentation, no warmth, nothing. The monitor came back on. Normal readings. Assigned patient, none. I stepped back, trying to process it, when the door clicked behind me. I turned. There was someone in the hallway, standing just outside the glass. Same height, same build, wearing the same hospital gown. But the details were correct, too correct. Sharp, defined, like a finished version. He looked at me, calm, breathing evenly. Then he raised his wrist. The band was blank. No name, no barcode, just a clean strip. He pressed the call button beside the door. Inside the room, the panel lit up, and the clock on the wall reset to 0120. The medication card outside Ward B unlocked itself at 2:07 a.m. and displayed a patient profile that doesn't exist in the system. I was standing right there when the screen woke up. No badge scan, no password, and a name filled in letter by letter like someone was typing from the inside. No ID number, no room, just a dosage schedule already marked as administered. I tried to back out of the screen. It wouldn't respond. The drawer beneath it clicked open on its own, sliding out halfway. Inside was a single syringe, prepped and labeled. Patient blank. Medication blank. Time 2:07. I closed the drawer. It reopened immediately. The syringe had shifted, not rolled, repositioned. Tip angled toward the hallway, like it was pointing. I looked down the corridor. Empty, lights steady, no movement. Then the cart chimed softly, like a confirmation tone. On the screen, the patient field updated. Not a name. A room number. B17. There is no B17. Ward B only goes up to 12. I checked the map posted on the wall anyway. Same as always, no 17. The cart chimed again. The drawer slid open wider this time. The syringe was gone. I stepped back. Something moved at the far end of the hallway. A shadow crossing from one doorway to another, but there's no connecting door between those rooms. I walked toward it, because the cart started following. Not rolling, shifting. Each time I looked away, it was closer. By the time I reached the end of the corridor, it was right behind me. One wheel slightly turned, like it had corrected its path. There's a service door at the end. Storage, always locked. Tonight, it was open. A thin line of light cutting across the floor. I pushed it wider. Inside was a room that shouldn't fit behind that wall. Too deep, too narrow, like a hallway compressed into a space that wasn't built for it. And at the end, a bed. No monitors, no equipment. Just a bed with a patient already lying in it. I recognized him. Not from this floor. From intake earlier that evening. He'd been turned away, no insurance, no admission. I remember because he kept insisting something was wrong with him, but his vitals were fine. No reason to admit. Now he was here, wearing a hospital gown, IV line in place. No chart. His eyes were open, tracking me. "You took your time," he said. "I'm not assigned here," I replied automatically. He smiled slightly. "Neither am I." Behind me, the cart chimed again. I didn't turn around. The patient lifted his arm slowly. There was a small puncture mark already in the crook of his elbow. Fresh, still dark around the edges. "You already gave it," he said. I stepped closer. "That's not possible." He nodded toward the doorway. I turned. The cart was inside the room now, drawer open, empty. Screen glowing. The patient field had changed again. It now showed my ID, not my name, just the number. Status completed. Time 0207. I checked my watch. 2:19. 12 minutes late. I looked back at him. What was in the syringe? He didn't answer right away, just watched me. Then, "It helps you stay." The lights flickered once. The room felt smaller, not physically, pressure. Like the walls were closer than they looked. I stepped back toward the door. It was gone, not closed. Gone. Just wall where it should have been. The cart chimed again. Another drawer slid open. Multiple syringes this time, all filled, all labeled. Different times, different rooms. All marked as administered. All with my ID. I grabbed one. The liquid inside wasn't clear. It moved, slowly, like it was adjusting to the shape of the barrel. The patient sat up, too smoothly. No strain, no delay. "You're on the schedule now," he said. The cart screen updated again. A list appeared. Names, room numbers, times. All in the future. All assigned to me. But the names, I recognized some. Patients who'd already been discharged. Some who had died. Some who had never been admitted. The first time on the list blinked. 0221, room B17. The patient in front of me smiled wider. "That's me," he said. I dropped the syringe. It didn't hit the floor. It stopped mid-air, hung there for a second, then drifted back into the drawer. The cart closed it gently. The room shifted again. The bed behind him stretched slightly, like it was making space for another patient. I felt something cold press against my arm, right at the elbow. I looked down. A syringe, already there, needle in. I hadn't felt it go in. I tried to pull away. It was empty. Whatever was inside had already been injected. The cart chimed, soft, satisfied. The screen updated, 221, administered. The patient in the bed lay back down, eyes still on me. "See?" he said. "On time." The pressure in the room eased. The wall behind me flickered. The door reappeared. Open. I stumbled out into the hallway. The cart wasn't behind me anymore. The service door was closed. Locked, like always. I checked my arm. No mark, no puncture. Nothing. Back at the nurse's station, the system was normal. No extra rooms, no missing patients, no logs. Until I checked my assignment list. There was one addition. At the bottom. Room B17. Patient pending. Medication schedule active. Next dose 240. Assigned nurse. Me. And the timer is already counting down. The security feed showed a patient walking into room 221 at 02:14 a.m., even though that room had been sealed for renovations 3 weeks ago. I was the one who signed off on it. Plastic barriers, locked door, no bed inside. But on the monitor, the hallway camera clearly caught a man in a hospital gown pushing the door open and stepping inside like it had always been part of his route. I rewound the footage. 0213, empty hallway. 0214, he appears mid-frame, not entering from either side, just there, walking, calm, barefoot. The door to 221 opens for him. No badge, no handle movement, it just unlatches. He goes in. The door closes. I went to check it myself. The plastic barrier was still up, tape intact, dust undisturbed. The door behind it locked tight. No sign anyone had touched it. I pressed my ear against the surface. Nothing. No movement. No sound. Back at the station, I pulled the internal camera for room 221. There shouldn't have been one active. The feed loaded anyway. The room was empty. Stripped. No equipment. But the door on the inside, the one leading to the hallway, was open, and there were footprints on the floor. Wet. Leading from the doorway to the center of the room, then stopping. No return path. No exit. Just a set of prints ending in the middle of nothing. At 0219, the hallway camera flickered. Same man again, walking out of room 221. Dry feet. No prints this time. He paused in the hallway and looked directly into the camera. Not like he noticed it. Like he was checking something. Confirming. Then he turned and walked down the corridor toward the active patient rooms. I checked admissions. No record. No matching description. No missing patients. But at 0221, a call light turned on in room 217. Occupied,
Elderly female, stable. The man approached the door. Didn't knock, didn't hesitate, just walked in. The camera didn't follow inside. I counted. 10 seconds, 20, 30. Then the call light turned off. The door opened. He walked out. Same pace, same expression, unchanged. I went in after him. The patient in 217 was awake, sitting up, looking at the door. Her monitor was normal, vitals steady. "Did someone come in here?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "He checked my chart," she said. "There's no chart in your room." "He brought one." I looked around. Nothing out of place, no extra files, no signs of disturbance. "What did he do?" She paused. "He corrected it." I checked her digital record. It had been updated. 220. Diagnosis changed. Not improved. Rewritten. Conditions removed. Others added.
More severe. I checked the author. No ID, no signature, just a blank entry. At 2:26, another call light. Room 214, then 210, then 208. Always one at a time, always after he left a room. Each time I watched him enter, wait, exit. Then I checked the charts. Every patient he visited had changes. Consistent pattern. He wasn't treating them. He was adjusting them, reassigning details like they were variables. At 2:41, I noticed something else. The footage from room 221 updated again. The empty room, the footprints. They had changed position, closer to the door now. Like whatever had been standing there had moved after the recording. I replayed it. The prints shifted between frames, not smoothly, jumping, like missing moments. I zoomed in. There was a second set now, overlapping, slightly smaller, following the first. At 2:44, the hallway camera caught him again, but not alone. There was a delay in the feed, just a fraction of a second, and in that delay, something else appeared behind him. Same outline, same gown, but not fully aligned. Like a duplicate failing to sync. They both entered room 206. Only one came out. I ran to 206. The patient was unresponsive. Flatline. No warning, no decline. Just gone. The chart had already updated. Time of death, 2:44. Cause, corrected. I checked the camera. The second figure was still inside, standing by the bed, not moving. At 2:47, it turned its head toward the camera. Too fast. Then it stepped forward. The feed cut to static. When it came back, the room was empty. No body, no patient, no equipment. Just a bare room. Like 221. I checked the floor plan. Room 206 was still listed as active, occupied, but the camera showed nothing. At 2:52, the hallway camera showed me. Standing outside 206, watching the door. But I was at the station, hands on the keyboard, not moving. On the screen, I reached for the handle, opened the door, walked in. The feed didn't follow. I checked the timestamp. 2:53, 1 minute ahead. The system log updated. Room 206 reassigned. Patient admitted. No name, no ID, just status, present. I looked back at the hallway feed. The man was there again, standing behind me. Close. Too close. Matching my posture, my height, my stance. He leaned slightly toward my ear, on the screen. And even though there's no audio on that camera, I heard it, clear. He needs a replacement. The feed glitched. The duplicate of me inside the room turned toward the camera, smiled. And the chart updated again. Patient name filled in. Mine. Time of admission, 2:53. That's right now. And the door to room 206 just unlocked.